Join me in exposing the Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania in their shady practices and why politicians have no business in wildlife conservation. Who remembers this from early 2019?
I'd like to welcome you to our press conference today toward eradicating one of the greatest threats to wildlife in Pennsylvania and throughout America.
In case you forgot, a Pennsylvania group called the Unified Sportsmen of Pennsylvania held a press conference at the state capitol announcing they had the cure for chronic wasting disease, or CWD for short.
We're here today to announce that we have discovered the real cause of CWD and that we have a cure for field application in 12 to 18 months.
The Unified Sportsmen of PA, or Unify for short, announced they were working with LSU researcher Dr. Frank Bastian and that Dr. Bastian discovered the real cause of CWD was a previously unknown species of bacteria called spiroplasma. Unified laid out a plan to develop CWD hunter test kits within a year, the ability to protect humans from CWD in 12 to 18 months, and vaccines to cure CWD within 2 years, among other claims.
Today, when it takes the grassroots sportsmen or the common folks that I like to refer to us to take something, the bull by the horns, something's going to happen.
Unified Sportsmen entered into an official agreement with Dr. Bastian and Louisiana State University toward ending CWD and protecting human health in Pennsylvania and throughout America. Today we are announcing Dr. Bastian's breakthrough research discovery to the citizens of Pennsylvania and kicking off our sponsored research partnership fundraising campaign. We refer to the campaign as a partnership because all organizations, businesses, and individuals who donate to this CWD research project will be permanently listed as it being a part of the founders to end CWD in Pennsylvania and across America.
But the USB has been working for Bastian for almost 2 years on the CWD problem in Pennsylvania. Over the past several weeks, we've been setting up a partnership format. We've been receiving donations by word of mouth from $20 to $33,000 to the USP. The state game commissions across the nation have been trying to stop the disease by shooting the deer for the past 50 years plus, and it is not working and never will. USP hopes the Pennsylvania legislators, the Pennsylvania Game Commission, Department of Conservation will come on board to support our mission.
The Unified Sportsmen, in fact, did find an ally in the PA legislature. His name? David Maloney. Maloney even announced his attendance at the Unified Sportsmen press conference before it started, indicating he worked with the Unified. Here is a clip of the Unified Sportsmen introducing Representative Maloney at the press conference.
The next individual to speak, this is probably our biggest champion of champions in this building or in Harrisburg. He sticks with us, he pushes, he fights. He's almost like he's one of us, but he has to dress up in a suit and tie every day. So I'd like to introduce Representative Dave Maloney, and he is by far the champion of champions.
Visiting the Unified Sportsmen Facebook page, you can see Representative Dave Maloney attended a recent Unified meeting. The Unified Sportsmen are clearly happy to host Representative Maloney. Clearly, Maloney is aligned with USP. Here is Randy Santucci in his own words.
With Representative Maloney, here's our guy that's right there trying to make things better. And
Representative Maloney clearly is supportive of the Unified Sportsmen of PA. On his own YouTube channel, he shared the complete Unified Sportsmen CWD Cure press conference.
Possibly is that government really isn't fixing this. And I think the fact that different groups of people who have been concerned about this for a long time are stepping to the plate, trying to get the doctor who has test kits. So maybe there's a funding and a research issue that the state can help them with. And I think by getting this forward, we're understanding the dynamic of how and where government should be involved with helping these issues.
In the next clip, you will see Representative Maloney caution Brian Burhans, Executive Director of the PGC, on using certain reports for their use in decision-making. However, Maloney is quick to support the bacterial theory of CWD brought forward by the Unified Sportsmen. The bacterial theory of CWD is not supported by the vast majority of scientists, researchers, or wildlife biologists. However, Representative Maloney seemingly supports the theory.
The reason I bring up the reports is that because some of us who talk nationwide and maybe hunt out of state and rub shoulders with avid sportsmen have different reports that they go by. And so that's why I bring up the caution to even using quality deer management as your go-to report, and because there's others that do not. So I have a question. And the whole debate that was rose up recently with respect to prion versus bacteria may be something that we obviously can't ignore, because if we don't have a solution now, we can't ignore something that could be a possibility. So in that same having said that, I know that there's sportsmen, once again, the private sector stepping up, trying to take an initiative to spend their hard-earned money for more study and hopefully more results.
Shortly after the Unified Sportsmen press conference, Representative Maloney helped secure $1 million of grant money to be used for CWD research. He had hoped the money would go to the Unified Sportsmen of PA and their research with Dr. Bastian. So what happened to the $1 million of grant money? The Unified Sportsmen of PA, along with John Eveland and his group, did not receive any part of it. The Unified Sportsmen and John Eveland's group did not file correctly to be considered for the grant money, according to a PA Department of Agriculture spokeswoman. Representative Dave Maloney was disappointed and criticized how the money was to be spent. So whatever happened to John Eveland and the Unified Sportsmen? It has been over 4 years since the Unified Sportsmen, in conjunction with Representative Maloney, held their press conference. Since then, there have been no developments of hunter test kits, no vaccines, nothing. It appears no progress has been made despite donations made to the organizations. Interestingly, it appears there was a major falling out with Dr. Bastian and the Unified Sportsmen over not receiving research funds as promised. A comment on Unified Sportsmen's own Facebook page shows Eric asking Dr. Bastian about CWD test kits and the money raised for the CWD Cure. Dr. Frank Bastian replied with the following: Eric, good question. I did not receive any monies for research and development for the test. John Eveland and Wayne Haas told me they had collected $3 million, but I did not receive any of that. Dr. Bastian further states, my name and reputation were used to raise those funds, so I broke off communication with John Eveland and issued a cease and desist on use of my name for fundraising if nothing was coming to my laboratory. This is the end of Part 1. Part 2 will dive further in Representative Maloney's role and the shady practices of the Unified.